Hello and welcome to my channel Street Twin 900 Rider. I'm Asif Tafal and this is the first ever and only review currently of the Triumph U-lock and the mounting kit. I thought this was a good way of carrying a heavy U-lock because it actually fits or mounts to the engine. Right, so let's have a closer look at it, and we'll do some measurements as well because it's quite expensive. Let me just show you the in-store price in London. It's cheaper online, believe me. Okay, right, so I did wonder, would another U-lock fit inside the Triumph mounting kit? But it was difficult finding measurements for this particular U-lock. Right, so let's get some measurements underway. Right, so it's a 270mm lock, and oops, there we go. Yeah, it's 270mm in length. Let's look at the width. Okay, so that is 123, possibly 124 millimeters. Okay, just trying to get that closer to there. There we go. So 123, possibly 124 millimeters. The shackle itself is 20 millimeters. There you go. So if you can find another U-lock that's 270 and has shackles of 20, and then the overall width 124 millimeters. Okay, let's open it up. So it's made by Artago. It's sold secure. Okay. Right, so let's slide off this sleeve. So it comes with a Velcro strap, and you get 3 keys and a key identifier as well. Let's move that to the side. Separately then, I bought the mounting kit. This cost £30 delivered. Right, so we got some important information, but there's no instructions, so that surprised me. Right, this is the piece that goes on the left hand side, I believe. And let's see, I think that goes on the right, and then you've got some bolts. So you have to go to the Triumph website and download the fitting instructions. So let's just look at these. Okay, so that's all the parts supplied. And usually you need to disconnect the battery. I don't think we will. Okay, so you need to remove 3 fir tree plugs from the upper crankcase. And then I would keep them as spares. Okay, then we need to remove the starter motor power supply lead. And then there's also a fixing a bolt at the bottom. Next step is to then mount the bracket. So let's see if we get the orientation right. Okay, so it'll be like this on the right hand side, and then like this on the left hand side, and then use the 16mm M6 bolts, and then you can slide the lock in. So if we just put this here to get an idea. That's how the U-lock will mount in. Right, let me just cut the key so we can do a test fit. Okay, so just show you here what it looks like. So there's a protective cover. Let's undo that. There we go. Okay, you get some stuff there as well. Okay, so that's the key number. Right, so on the bike then, this would slide in like this. Oh. And then you would close the lock. Right, let's head over. Oops. Let's head over to the bike and see and go about fitting it. Right, so here we are at the side of the bike. So I understand why the instructions said to disconnect the battery, and that's because officially you're supposed to remove the starter motor power supply lead with a 10mm bolt, but we can actually get away without doing that, because with an 8mm socket and an extension bar, there's actually enough space here for me to loosen the bolt here. So this one we need to remove and reuse. So let's get that out. There we go. So if you're nervous about interfering with the bike's electrics, you won't need to. Goodness, how long is this? There we go. Okay, right, the next thing is to remove 3 plastic plugs. I've seen people rip these out when fitting a center stand, so there is one on the side of the frame, but you don't need to. Just unscrew it. And then I would keep it for use later on, especially if you do remove the U-lock. There we go, so I'll keep those. Right, so the next step is we're going to fit this piece here. And let's get the bolts and do a dry fit. So loose fit, I meant to say. So we got one there. Let's put our original bolt back in. Oh, actually, I need to remove that bolt because the second piece fits over this. All right. There we go. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, this is the second piece. We'll do this one from the side. Really tight space. There we we go, that's it. And then the third bolt is, I think it's easier to do it from the left side because you can see a bit better. Alright, this is the most fiddly one. Oh, he was actually in position when I pulled it. I know. Let's tighten the rear one. Okay, let's try and do it from the front because it is fiddly. Oh, there we go. Oh, that makes it much easier to turn. There we go. Great, let's tighten it up. Oops. Please fast forward this bit. There we go. I'll tell you the forces in a moment because the torque settings are in the instructions. Ooh, right, I'm going to need a long reach socket for that one. Okay, so these three need to be tightened to, let me just double check. Okay, so the three bolts need to be tightened to 9 Newton meters of torque, and if you do remove this one, that's 7 Newton meters of torque. Right, so it's just that one there that's been a bit awkward. Oops. Give it one more try. And then only one step left. Right, okay, so I will do that later. Right, the next step then is to take our lock. Let's undo it and head round to the other side. Oh, that slides through nice and easy. lock it, and then there's a Velcro strap. Let's try and keep it as waterproof as we can. Okay, thread that through on the other side. Let's get it in the right way round. Right, okay, so you want the smooth side on the inside and the prickly side on the outside. Tighten it a bit more. Ah, yes, okay. There we go. I think that's an ingenious solution. That's really good. I did wonder what would fill that hole. Let me just show you from the other side as well. There we are. So I think that's really easy to fit. So you just slide it in and lock it on the other side. So you might be able to avoid some of the cost by finding another U-lock. I'd be interested if anyone can find one with the dimensions I gave at the start of the video. So let's see, I have a ABUS disc lock for the front wheel. This is more for the rear wheel and for securing my Oxford lid lock. There we go, so that will fit through there easily. No, definitely not the width of the tyre. Let's just head over to the front and see where it would fit. Okay, possibly two there or one there. Oh, that's interesting. Aha, right, that's good. It goes through the disc rotor. Okay, so I wonder if that results in more security rather than through just the wheel. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so this is something I've been after for a while, because now it means I don't have to carry a U-lock in my top box or in my panniers. There you are, you can see the frame. So obviously remove it when cleaning the bike. If there's anything I've missed out, please do let me know in the comments section, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching.